If you are new, welcome. If you are one of my handful of subscribers, I appreciate you and welcome back. This is just a real short, quick glimpse at what things are looking like in the in-ground garden before I leave for my trip out to Wyoming. I would have liked to have done a more complete job, but we were in a hurry, and I think that I was under the impression I was going to have time to come back and do more, and unfortunately I was not. So at least what I have here stands as a little bit of a record for what things look like as of May 30th or so, thereabouts, and I can compare it to what I find when I get home. It's going to be really interesting. This is ginger that I grew from grocery store ginger. I just saved a few pieces of the rhizome. I always have a hard time remembering that word for some reason. And propagated it until it had some roots and it sent up shoots. And I just stuck it out here in the garden, in the in-ground family garden, and we'll see how it does. This is my first experiment with ginger, so I expect that it will die come winter, but I will just kind of watch how it grows and learn. We put in a few tiny little borage plants. I look forward to seeing what they look like when I get back from my trip in 3 weeks. I hear they grow explosively, so we'll find out. And this line, this doesn't look like much right now, but it's all flowers, and I'm hoping that it does really well and grows up into a border along this side of the garden. And eventually it'll self-seed some of these. It's zinnias, it's like 3 or 4 different kinds of zinnias, and marigolds, and the champagne hollyhocks. These should grow up fairly quickly. They've had a few days to become established, but they're still, as you can see, they're still really little. So they're still little. Looks like we have some kind of spotting on the leaves there. I've never seen that happen on zinnias before. I'm not sure what that's about. There's a tiny little hollyhock. This is the only one that's really well developed at this point. It stayed in its cup too long, just like a lot of things did this year. But it's awful pretty out here. I'm sure it will be 3 times as big in no time. Marigolds have done really well out here for me in past years. I'm kind of bummed that I'm gonna miss the other flowers on this thing. Maybe I'll have to get somebody to send me a picture when they open. I'll see if I can find some pictures or some footage from the other videos to put up here and compare these. Look at how dark green . Look at how dark green the leaves are now, because they've had time to get down and the roots are establishing themselves, and they've gotten into some plant food. They are a much different color, a much darker green than they were just a handful of days ago when we put them in here. Here you can kind of see a difference between older leaves and newer leaves. Oh, these are beautiful. That makes me happy to see right before I'm leaving that there are signs that they are going to just grow up real healthy, hopefully. Tiniest little okra pod in the history of ever. This has 2 pods, and it's so little. my hand for reference. These two are a much nicer color now. Much darker green. So that's nice to see. These are the Cherokee purples. So they each got their own cage rather than these are Romas and Prairie Fires that are gonna share a cage because I only have so many cages and so much money this year. But the Cherokee purple is a hefty plant. It needs support and it needs not to have other plants pulling on that support. So excited for fresh tomatoes. Peppers looking okay. They were a little stressed out from being too long in their cups, so I think they're gonna take some time to recover. But some of these newer leaves, these are looking really good. So that tells me they are headed in the right direction. This one too. I think this is a jalapeno. Beautiful new leaves. Ouch. So this is a bunch of cardboard that I could not get to. I'm leaving it for my sister-in-law is going to pull the tape off and get it laid down over the other half of the garden that hasn't been covered yet, so we don't have too many weeds coming up. It's just one of those things where I hit a limitation and I couldn't get it done before I have to leave. The foam is going in the trash, obviously. Yeah.